Hello, my Canasta friends. Welcome to Canasta Class Clinic. Happy Thanksgiving. We are approaching Thanksgiving, and so I want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, and I'm so thankful that you show up each week and watch my videos. It's one of the great things I'm thankful for, and to play this lovely game of Canasta that brings us together. We'll be discussing basics, tips, and strategies all about Canasta as we play on real Canasta. Our topic in this video will be discussing, should we delay your opening initial meld or open right away? Please put any questions in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them. And if you have any suggestions on topics, please email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com or put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to present the topic. Now let's learn and grow together as Canasta players. Before we get started, please make sure you connect with me. I always, again, end on this week of Thanksgiving and being thankful. I thank you for being here, for all your love and support of the Canasta Class channel. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Thank you for giving me thumbs up for videos that you like. Thank you for sharing with fellow Canasta players so they can learn and grow. And thanks for putting comments below. I love connecting with Canasta players. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button on the home page to make sure that you get notification when I post new videos or go live. Again, I am so thankful, and it means the world to me that you show up each week and give me your love and support for this channel and watch us grow and help us create more tutorials and education for free. Thank you for being here. Please consider becoming a channel member. Take your love of Canasta to the next level and go to the home screen and hit join. This will be a small monetary donation. You have 3 levels to choose from. Again, I thank you for always giving me your love and support by supporting me in free ways, as I mentioned previously. And be sure to check out becoming a member if you wish to support me with a small monetary donation and this channel to help it grow. Thank you again. Let's get on with our topic. Let's go over why you should either immediately open or delay your opening on your initial meld. We'll talk about the basics. The best practice when opening is to start the initial opening meld with a minimal number of cards, meaning using the smallest number of cards you can so that you have plenty of cards in your hand so that you can help close canastas. That might mean waiting for an additional ace or a wild card or a 10-point card, a higher ranking card, to use so that you use less amount of cards to open, so that you'll have cards in your hand again to build canastas. You don't want to be left with no cards. If you have extra points of the cards that you melded, meaning maybe you needed 125 and you have an extra 8, if 8s were something you melded, hold on to that extra 8, not to make 135, only make 125, in hopes that you pick up another 8 in the talon, and then your opponent to your right, when they discard, they'll assume that you put down all the 8s in your hand, and then they'll discard an 8 and you'll be able to pick the pack. So be sure to put the number of minimal cards down when you open. Let's talk about why it would be a bonus to opening up right away. So the biggest thing is that you get 4 cards in the talon versus 3. So you get 4 extra cards when you open. It also increases the likelihood that your partner can pick the pack. Remember, this is a partnership. You also want to try to keep pairs in your hand to be able to pick the pack. So be sure not to put all your cards down at once. And a tip would to choose higher value cards to meld, and then you want to close them to prevent the other team from opening with those cards. And another reason why you probably would want to open quickly is if your team needed 125 versus the opponent's team, say they needed 155 or 180. You want to open right away to try to get out before them and to try to go out of the game before them. Try to close, again, the higher point cards first so they can't use them in their opening. Now let's flip it and try to look at why you would want to delay your opening. So let's consider these things as why you would not want to place your initial opening meld immediately once accumulated the required points to open. There are lots to consider. When should you open? The first thing is just a reminder, you can pick the pack on opening. So hold on to your initial meld to wait for the right card that is discarded so that you can pick the pack and open. Again, you need the required points in your hand without the top card of the discard pile when you're going to open and pick the pack. That top card is a bonus point card, meaning it will just add additional points to your meld. It is not included in the initial point count. Please be sure that when you are picking the pack, it is a fairly large pack when you choose to pick the pack. Because remember, if you just open, you get 4 cards or 3 cards if you're the second team to open. So just make sure that when you're picking the pack, there's more than 4 cards. I usually like to see 8 or more. Number 2, build a stronger hand. As I mentioned in the prior about opening right away, sometimes you do want to delay because you're trying to build a better, stronger hand with higher point cards. Maybe waiting for the ace or the wild. Or maybe you're even going to attempt to try a special hand or even a special opener. Now, special opener could be wilds, or you can have a canasta, a splash. The next one, consider your partner. Don't forget, this is a partnership game. You want to wait maybe 1 or 2 turns or even a few more and delay opening so that you can see what your partner's doing. Get a feel what they're discarding. Are they working on a special hand? Maybe they're waiting to gather some more wilds. Maybe they're going to lay down wilds. So give your partner a chance and strategize. Maybe while you're waiting, you want to strategize and watch what others are discarding to help you decide, are you going to get the card you need for your special hand? Are you going to be able to pick the pack? Is your opponent's going to throw cards that you need? Maybe all those cards in the discard pile are terrible. You may not want to pick the pack. You might just want to open. Sometimes by delaying opening, it makes it harder and it's a surprise for your opponents when you pick the pack. So it makes them harder, meaning that they don't know what to discard to you. So you don't pick the pack. They're trying to protect the pack. And then as it gets more into the game, it's harder and harder to discard because they know you're getting closer to opening. So just be mindful of that when you're either deciding to open right away or delay. Let's also consider when you're waiting, what other things you need to look at. Is the discard pile worth picking? As I mentioned before, maybe there's a lot of 7s in there and you won't be able to get rid of them when you open. Or has your opponent already opened and they're in the game, and do they have a canasta or have they just opened? And check out the 3s. Do you have a lot of 3s that you need to cover so you don't get the penalty? Do your opponents have a lot of 3s and they haven't opened? Maybe you want to open so that you can get out faster. So these are things to consider when you're waiting. And my tip, if your partner melds and has very few cards in their hand, try not to add your cards that you have in your hand to the melds until you can make canastas. Your partner isn't going to be able to help you. They only have a couple cards. You want to hold on to your pairs to be able to pick the pack so that you can make those canastas. And again, remember, your partner only has a couple cards. They're going to maybe be able to close a canasta and go out. And your partner's not going to be able to pick the pack. If you start adding to melds right away, you will have little cards in your hand and you will have no chance to complete canastas, or you'll be left with minimal cards that are hard to discard. You might be giving your opponent the pack. So you're setting your team up for doom. So be sure to just be patient and hold on to your cards until you can at least make at least one canasta and then work on the second one with your partner. There's lots to consider when opening. If you're going to delay your opening or you're going to put it down immediately. Keep watching and reviewing videos so that you have an arsenal of strategies to play in your next canasta game. What choice will you choose? We're going to pop on over to Real Canasta and play a few games. Please, again, make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. There are many videos here that you can look at. And if you want more strategies or tips or just the basics, go to the magnifying glass, type in your topic, and there'll be sure to be a video. If you don't see one, again, email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com, and I'll be sure to put the topic up that you're looking for. And if you just have a question that you'd rather not post on here, email me and I'll be sure to answer it. Let's head on over to Real Canasta and play a few games. On Real Canasta, we're going to start a new game. We're playing fast mode, 5 cards, meaning you have to have 5 of a rank before you had any wilds. And then we're playing invisible mode so I can chat. Let's start our new game. Sort by rank, put out your 3s, pick a card for your turn. Resort. We're only at 125. You look quickly if you have 3 of a kind. We don't. We have the potential for pairs. We do have 2 pairs, our 7s, aces, and a 2. So I'm going to get rid of the 4 to go. We're going to hold on to the jack. Now my partner threw out a 5. I want to keep my pairs, so I'm going to give out a queen. My partner is opening. I'm no longer able to go for my special hand, but hopefully I set myself up that I have a bunch of pairs that I can pick the pack. I don't have a pair of 6s. My opponents threw out a jack, which I have a pair of jacks, but let's pick a card. I picked a 9. They have 8s, aces, and queens. It's possible that my opponent can have a queen. So in a rare case here, I'm just going to put out a 7 to see what my opponent does with their cards, and there they go. No queen. They put out an ace and an 8. That's 2 7s. No 4 for me. Here's 1 4, but I can't make a canasta yet, so I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to put out the ace now because they have aces in 5th position. They can't pick the pack, and now my 8s are no longer valid, so that will be my next discard. I'm going to hold on to my 7 to have a pair. There's 2 7s in here, and I'm going to get rid of the 8s. Now I can close this with my final 4. And I'm going to get rid of the ace. King. Put out your 3, get a new card. I have a 6. I'm going to get rid of the 8 first. And I probably could also get rid of this queen. Pair of 5s I have. I'm going to pick the pack. I don't know if I'll have time enough to get rid of those 7s, but we'll work towards it here. We have to get rid of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 7s. I don't think my partner has it, but let's see. Hopefully we can make some canastas here. Eights are dead. 9s. I'm going to make a canasta of 10s. I'm going to put out my jacks. And on an empty tray, we can't do a dead card. I'm going to put out the queen, and we can't do aces or 7s. We have a 6 I can put out, and I'll put out my wild card with that. And I'll get rid of an ace. I'm going to get a penalty of 1,500 points. So we got 9,015 and they got 1,475. They had 2 sevens. That's why I didn't put my sevens out. I wasn't sure if my partner had it. I didn't think he did because he threw out a 7 right after me. So he thought I had 2 sevens, which I did. But we didn't have enough sevens. So I kept them in my hand and took the penalty at 1,500 points. On to our next game. It's very early in the game. We have lots of time. Sort by rank. On your turn, you're going to put out your 3s. Everybody's throwing high cards. We have to get to 125. My partner threw a king. I'll go ahead and throw a king so that our cards start to match. My opponent threw a 6. I'll put that off to the side so I know that's a safe discard. The other team is opening. I cannot open. I don't have 3 of a kind yet. That's 1 7. There's my 3 of a kind. Now the other team is open, but I think I'm going to go ahead and wait. I'm going to throw a 6. There's a 10. I can pick the pack. So I'm going to open and pick the pack. So I have to put out my opening meld first, and then I will get the pack. So I delayed opening to be able to pick the pack. I'm going to keep everything in my hand right now. I think I'll put out the 1 8. We have no other 4s. And I will discard a 9. To get rid of 1 7 also. Okay. So there's 2 7s in there. My opponent to my left did a 7 and my partner did a 7. I'm going to put out my 4 and I'm going to discard the 7. So that's 3 7s. My opponent threw out a 10, which I don't have. 10s are out here. I'll try this 5. Oh, you know what? Better card yet. I have this ace. They have ace in 5th position. They can't pick the pack. And I have pair of queens. I have to get rid of these 7s. Let's put out all the cards that I have because we already have 1 canasta. We're working on our 2nd. And we picked up a 4. And let's get rid of a 5. And then I'm getting rid of all these 7s. Then I'll probably get rid of the aces next. Keep just patience. We'll get there. We're gonna get rid of this last 7 and we'll be in good shape. Last 7. And I'm going to aces next. Put out my 3 6s. There's 3 7s in there. Okay, no penalty for us. We're good. That was a nice hand. We got a lot of 3s. So we got 2,775. They got 1,155. We are at 155 and they are at 125. Sort by rank. Put out your 3. Take a new card. Pick 1 for your turn. Sort again. We have the potential for a special hand of a zip code. We have 3 2 2. Let's get rid of a low card. My partner threw out a 4. I'll throw out a 4. So when we go to lay down our cards, we will match. Put out your 3, get a new card. I'm holding on to my pairs. Be a little crazy and put out a king. They opened with wilds, which makes sense. I don't have any wilds. They discarded a 10. I'm going to discard a 10. Discarded an 8. Oh, nice. I can close the queens. Very nice. Oh, they got the pack. Bummer. I'm not going to put out my 6s. I'm going to hope that I get more 6s that are in the discard pile. He discarded an 8. I'm going to go ahead and discard the 8. And then I'm going to get rid of the 9. Get rid of my 9. Now I'll put my 6s out and close them. I'll take the pack to get pure. I'll put out my jacks. Now he might have a king, but there's nothing here to worry about, so I'm going to put the king out. Now, I'll put out the king. They used all their wilds here, so they don't have any wilds to make canastas. Pair of 8s. I'm going to put out my 8. I need one more jack before I can add my wild. Put out your 3. Another 8. Jeez. Oh, look at all the pures they're getting. Nice for them. They have 1,500 right in canastas. Queens are dead. One 7. Ace. That's it for that game. So we got 1,675. They got 4,855 because they got that wild card canasta. Plus they had 4 pure canastas. That was a very nice hand for them, and that brought them into the lead. They went from 125 to 180, and we are at 180 also. It's anyone's game. Now we have to either make a special hand or open for 180. I have all these pairs. I'll get rid of my little 4. If we're going to do pairs, we need to have pairs of aces, 7s, and 2s, since we already have the wild card. There's 1 7. Okay. The other team's opening with 180. Good for them. But you see she has little cards left here. Oh, maybe we don't have enough. I'm going to get rid of a 5. Rid of a 5. Hoping my partner opens. Queens are dead now. Get rid of my 5. There's my 3 of a kind. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I can open, but I'm going to wait. We have 9s, 8s, and kings. I'll get rid of my 8. I'm going to go ahead and open. They now have 2 canastas. Okay, so it's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'll get rid of the 8. Oh, I picked up an ace. And we got the canasta. That was good. Put out my other ace. Put out my jack. And queens are dead. Hopefully they'll pick a jack or an ace. Nothing. I can't go out. I don't have 2 canastas. I can't put out my 3 6s. Put out the king. So they did win because they had, obviously going into the game, more points than us, but they also got 4 black 3s, which are 1,000 points. We did have 3 red 3s, but we didn't get the value of them because we only had 1 canasta. So congratulations to the other team. And that was a nice game we played, and it was enjoyable to have you here. Please be sure to watch other videos for tips, tricks, and strategies. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving on Thursday. Enjoy being with your family and at least find one thing to be thankful for. And that might be just being able to play your game of canasta. But there's many, many things to be thankful for. So look deep within and be thankful and spread love to your family and friends. And if you're alone, maybe go out and just say hi to someone on the street. So hopefully you'll find love somewhere in your life and be thankful for the great gifts you have. Enjoy this journey. Thanks everyone for being here and have a good one. Take care. See you next Monday. Bye-bye.